All right, we're back here on the Lunchbox, and you'll notice we're in a little bit of a different setting and a little bit of a different vibe now. Usually we talk with a lot of chefs and restaurateurs, but it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the Lunchbox a comedian, and we love our laughs here, and it's Paul Mecurio. He is an Emmy and Peabody Award winning comedian. He has worked on Late Show with Stephen Colbert, has HBO specials, and he's coming to the Broward Center for the Performing Arts January 17th, a Friday night. He's got a one-man show that just wrapped up off-Broadway. Paul, welcome to the Lunchbox. How are you today?
I'm great, man. Mike, it's nice to be with you. Lubie, love you. This is awesome. A really
Yes,
cool
yes.
show, by the way. I love this idea of a food show. I'm
Thank you.
Italian, so, the
Somehow,
whole,
I'm a reformed newspaper man, and
right.
I've now junked all my ethics, and I eat free meals up and down the South Florida coast. And I've also hit up all my favorite restaurants that I gave good reviews in the past and say, hey, can you sponsor my show so my kids can still go to college? And it's worked out okay.
So you're basically a food whore, is what you say.
Yeah, yeah. We'll chew for food.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
before we get into the show and stuff, I just had a question. So you're still working currently, like at Late Show?
Yeah, I
Do you
work at the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. I'm actually going to be making another appearance on the show right after the first of the year, too.
Oh,
I do
cool.
stand up on the show and sketches and stuff. Yeah, so I've been on that show, and then I tour around doing stand up and all that stuff and TV appearances and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. And I
And
also work the DMV. I work at the DMV on a Saturday. I give out license plates, yeah, whatever you
nice.
need.
You
I'm a desperate Italian boy, so,
It's all good. But what I wondered is because people just think, oh, they come, it's an hour, but this is an all day affair, and there's writers' meetings and pitches, and then things
Yeah,
get whittled
exactly.
out.
Yeah.
But how much eating and is there in the writers' room? And you excuse me, I like to eat a lot on the show. It's kind of what I do. So I have my morning cereal with my blueberries here. So I'm just gonna munch on this. And
That's okay.
I was imagining, do writers sit around with their like
Already.
bagels?
Huh?
There's a
I got
cupcake.
myself an amazing coffee cake from Milano Gourmet right around the corner from me,
There you go.
and
Feel free to stuff your face because that's what we
Get
do.
right in.
we eat a we
We
eat a
eat.
lot in the writers' room. I mean, because everybody's smoking so much weed to get funny. So
I do
I
edibles
mean,
now. It's
I
much
mean,
easier on my
yeah,
lungs.
exactly. There's always food. There's 300 people on the show. We have this kitchen stuffed with like Cheez-Its and M&Ms and M&Ms married to Cheez-Its, like whatever gross thing you could figure. It's definitely a big part of it. And then they cater in food and stuff. And it's New York, so you can get like amazing stuff. And like, um, but I love the idea of the show because being Italian and everything. Lubie and I were talking about this off camera. It's like it's such a central part of like who you are, right? And we do have like a full day, by the way, just to go back to the show for a second. We do like there's a process. You get up in the morning, there's jokes get written. Um, Steven goes through a cocaine and bourbon fueled rage from like 11 to noon,
He's
and
kind of
then we
like
kind of
Cocaine Bear with jokes, a little bit of polish. Got to
right,
work a
and
little.
exactly. Then he comes in and he's sort of together. Then he reads some of the jokes, and then he goes into a hyperbaric chamber for 3 hours. Then he has to dress like a little girl for 2 hours. We don't know what that's about. And then we
Everybody
finally
has their
do the show.
kinks. Yep.
It's a weird no. Yeah, so but there's a food is a big part of that. Like food's everywhere.
But
Like
let me ask,
he's a
because
big foodie.
a lot of times he pours himself shots of bourbon or alcohol. Is that real stuff? Are they allowed to really drink
The guy's
alcohol?
an functioning alcoholic. Of course it's real. You don't see him. You don't see the IV
The
of
IV.
Jack Daniels
Hydrated.
behind him. You know what it is? It's there, but then in post production, we Photoshop it out. There's a frightened little intern with an IV that goes right, and he's doing the monologue, and then and he's like, he looks like it's a mess, Mike. It's a mess.
Okay.
I'm
But it's
sorry.
so smooth when it comes out at
No,
11
we
o'clock
never
at
see
Exactly.
night.
that.
It's great.
Exactly.
Um,
But yeah, so but no, yeah, all that's real. Like he and his wife have a cookbook out and everything. But
oh,
anyway,
they do?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
all real with the
All
thing
right.
and
Enough
whatever.
about him. Let's go to Paul Mercurio, and it's called
Yeah.
Permission to
Permission
Speak.
to speak. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
uh and it's kind of cool because you basically are pulling up real people and having them ad lib, which I know from this show, sometimes when people kind of drop by when we're filming at a restaurant and we put them on the camera, and the ones that are eager to come on just end up totally freezing. And the ones who are the most shy, especially the wives of restaurateurs, they say, no, 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 I don't want to. And then they come on and they're just like
Yeah,
fucking killed.
yeah,
They're great. So
yeah. The
is it
wives,
this?
yeah, and it's the I have not heard anybody freeze. I think people know from the get-go. I'm telling stories from my life. There's my stand-up in it, but it's also just sort of like a crowd work show on steroids, but like more detailed. We're getting these amazing stories. You interview people all the time. Everybody's got a story, and like uh, and so what I find is you'll have the shy ones that say, "Oh, I don't know," and then they grab the mic and they go, and like they and that's great. I don't care. Like if you want to take over for 5, 10 minutes, whatever. If you got a story, and it's all relatable. Like this show is about food, and I'm being Italian, like is a big part of, and it started to get me thinking about growing up. So we would have these Sunday Italian dinners, the Sunday Italian dinner, right? And my
Gravy.
Uncle Archie's barbershop. I grew up in Providence, Rhode Island. So my
Oh,
Uncle Archie had a
Providence,
barbershop.
great Italian town. Good
Oh
pizza,
yeah.
funky, different kind of
Oh,
pizza. Yeah,
real pizza. Thank you.
yeah,
Real pizza. Let's talk about that for a minute, shall we?
yeah. We can.
Let's talk about it because I live in New York and everybody's like, "Oh, New York pizza. It's the best." It sucks. It sucks a bag of you know what. You want to know why? I'm Italian, everybody, and listen to me. I'm 100% Italian, not like sort of Italian with a vowel at the end of my name, but then you find out there's like a German and a German Shepherd and a Pekingese in me too. 100% Italian. Here's the rule. When you pick up a slice of pizza, which you cannot do with a New York slice, it should not be able to droop.
Unfold.
It should defy gravity. It should not
Okay.
do this.
So
Okay. It should
you
not
come
do
from
this.
Genetics.
No,
the
stop. Don't
David
even talk to me
Portnoy
right now.
school of
It
no
should,
flop. Yeah.
right.
Okay.
No flop. It should not do that.
All
See,
right.
if you
Well,
did, you want to know why? Because because the cheese and sauce distribution in relation to the crust is too heavy.
right. You
It's got
don't
to be,
want too many toppings that'll topple it
you
over.
got
You
to
don't want
hold it
knife
like
and
that.
fork pizza. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm better now. I'm sorry. I got an emotion. But
No, it's okay.
you want that? It's almost like a grandma's slice. What everybody calls
Oh,
it, which is what
yep.
Rhode Island
Well,
pizza
that's
is.
the
That sort
thin
of
little square, not the thick Sicilian, which now
not
is
the thick Sicilian.
Detroit
Yeah,
style. When I
yeah.
grew up in Brooklyn, it was known as Sicilian. Now everybody's calling it Detroit style, which
Well, Detroit,
what
it's like
motor oil on.
you can either eat it or use it as a mattress. That's how thick it is. But here's our Italian and how central food is to the Italians, right? So we would have these Sunday Italian dinners in the Knotty Pine basement of my uncle's house, and this is when everybody's smoking like cigars and pipes and cigarettes. It's like within 3 minutes of being in the room, you're going to get lung cancer just standing there, right? So everything has to be fresh with the Italians, right?
Yeah.
So my uncle would have cold cuts, but not sliced. He would have his own meat slicer with his. I swear to God,
Table.
in the basement with a refrigerator dedicated to like you open the door and there's like loaves of like ham, mortadella, Coca-Cola. And he's like, it's gotta be fresh.
Did,
It's gotta
did
be
he
fresh.
sell sandwiches at the side window of the house in Providence? Because I know people like that. They had a little side gig going. It's good.
It was
Better
like,
than working at the DMV, Paul. I'm telling you.
oh my God. So my wife is she's not Italian. She's a wasp from the Mayflower, right? So
Yeah.
the food's not like their idea of like an extravagant meal is to have carrots and string beans with steak, right? They're not like so
Damn
we
Puritans.
met in high school. I take her to finally meet the family at the family Sunday dinner, right? So the food starts coming out, and she's woofing down the first course, and then the bruschetta, and I'm like, "You better slow down." She goes, "What?" She goes, and she goes, "No, I'm hungry." I go, "No, you better slow." By like the seventh course, she's like, "Stop! I can't stop!" Right? So she's go, wait, we're straight, eat, and then her foot shoving tiramisu, eat. She's like, "What have I done to you? Why you tortured me? I can't eat
It's like
anymore."
torture, yeah.
It's like, so we leave, right? And I'm driving her home, and she goes, "This is all true." I go, what did you think? She goes, oh, everybody was really nice. So the food was amazing, I guess. She goes, so let me ask you something. She goes, why was everybody yelling at each other?
Because they're Italian. That's
I'm like,
She was like this.
we weren't yelling. She goes, that's how you talk normally? She's like,
That's,
you need a
hey, let me
giant
ask
group
you a big
therapy
question because I,
session.
I help run this
Mm,
food group called Let's Eat South Florida. It's 180,000 people it's grown to.
mm.
100,000 of them are ex-New Yorkers who are just complaining about they can't find good Chinese food in South Florida. But nevertheless, We do have occasional debates, including I threw one up there this morning because I just was at an Italian restaurant in Boca that's pretty good. It's called 388, and they had a Sunday. Well, again, is it gravy or is it sauce? Is it
It's
Sunday sauce?
gravy. It's
Gravy.
gravy.
Okay, there you go. If it's got the meatballs and the sausage and the braccio and all that stuff, that's
Yes,
I
it's gravy.
yeah, okay. I don't get offended either way.
I
Just as
do.
I don't get offended by any.
You want
I
to
don't get
offend me?
offended.
You want to offend me? Walk in with a New York slice of pizza and say the word sauce. I will shoot you. I will shoot you
Sauce.
dead where you stand.
Look, I'm a pizza agnostic. I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm not one of these freaking, insufferable New Yorkers who say, "Oh, we only have the best." I love New Haven
I know. Yeah,
pizza. I love the Providence pizza. I
yeah.
love Chicago. I don't love deep dish. That's casserole, but it's the thin style tavern. I
Oh,
love all that stuff.
I like Lou Malnati's from Chicago. That's a
Yeah.
good pizza because
Yeah,
there's
all
a
right,
good
that's a
yeah
deep dish.
yeah.
But with pizza, I say I'm a pizza agnostic. I like them all, and
Okay.
pizza is like sex. Even bad pizza is good. So hey,
But you
we
got to
we
eat
are
it. You
running
got
out
to
of
eat
time.
it.
Can we do
Can
another
I?
hit?
Yeah, I want to play it. Yeah, absolutely. We could do
Yeah.
more. And I got
Well,
a
you know
clip
what?
I want to
Let's
play too.
well let's you know what? Play a clip, Lubie. We're gonna just turn this into our own
I got
holiday special. We'll
yeah.
make this the Festivus special. Maybe we'll play
Yeah,
this on Monday. Maybe
I got about 5 or 6 minutes more, and then I got to jump to another one of these. But
okay. We'll
but
cut out the yeah. It's
I want to play.
play a
Let me play a
clip.
quick clip. Yeah,
And we'll go a
if you don't
little
mind.
overtime here, and we'll make Luby do some overtime editing work later. It's all
All
good.
right, cool. But the like eating healthy is like a big part of just life now. And we
Not for
had it was
me.
actually from from a Florida show. We had this woman. She's 95 years old, and she was amazing. This is another one of these people like you bring them on stage. And by the way, the show's called Permission to Speak. Is at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts on
January
January
17th.
17th, and
It's a
then
Friday
January
night.
18th. Yeah, it's going to be at the Orlando Dr. Phillips Center in Orlando
We
on
don't
the
talk about
18th.
Orlando. It's a Mickey Mouse
Okay,
town. Yeah.
okay, fine. Then forget it. Yeah, I like that. um, and I'm doing. There's a lot of stuff from my own act in the show, so it's stand up, married with talking to the audience, and people can come on stage, right, talking from their seats. But this woman was fantastic. She's 95. Her name was Lee, and I just started talking to her about how you live to be 95, and she looked amazing, really healthy. How did you meet your husband?
We were in the same homeroom in high school.
Ah, that's how I met my wife in high school.
Yeah.
And you saw him, you thought he was cute?
No, we hated each other at first.
Why?
No, it's just,
It's just, yeah.
yeah, it grows on you.
Yeah.
In fact, he was really dating my best friend, and then they broke up, and I was there, and he took me home. That was
she's a little loose. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
All right, my turn.
So again, the name of the show is Permission to Speak. It's January 17th at the Broward Center for Performing Arts. You can get tickets now. Go to browardcenter.org. Or is it on any of the major the ticket gouging? I'm sorry.
It's all on the ticket pages too. It's a good Chris. Somebody was saying the other day, like I didn't realize it's a great stocking stuff for a
Great.
couple of tickets. Yeah.
So are you
Great.
touring? Where are you? Like, are you? I didn't even look into this. We're just gonna throw it out. Like, are you touring, doing the show more than just north and south? You going around the country?
Oh, yeah, going all over. We just did Milwaukee. We've done the Midwest. We're going to the West Coast. So we're going all over. We're going to the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, because we did it in New York, and we'd let's take it out and let's just have like fun and do it like everywhere, And it's like and the stories have been incredible. Like I said to this woman, like what's your name? She goes, Nydia. I said, Lydia. She goes, no, Nydia with an N. I go, that's a unique name. How'd you get that name? That's all I said. She goes, oh, my father got my mother pregnant with me, but at the same time was having an affair with a woman named Nydia, and he named me after the woman he was having an affair with. I swear to God.
Oh, no.
Exactly. And that was my father, everybody. Okay? Are you happy?
Classy. Paul. Well, it's really been a pleasure, but be prepared down here during the show afterwards. People are going to come up to you and say, I saw the show in New York and it was funnier. It must be the water.
Thanks for undermining the show before I even get there, Mike.
Between Default and Nail.
I'm a frustrated comedian. Everybody says sports writers are frustrated jocks. I started off as a sports writer. I've always wanted to be a comedian, and as a sports columnist, I got to crack all my best one-liners. It was great.
Oh God! Listen, I'm ready for Florida and the elderly. My mother just turned 97.
Oh, Mazel tov.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah, and she will not go down. We try everything.
Oh, really? I thought it's
yeah.
the law. At age 90, everybody must move to Florida.
No, I mean, she will not go down. Like I'm trying to kill her, and she
die.
will not. Like,
She won't
like
die.
we got like, oh, she's like, you give her bad cheese, she's bouncy tripper. She bounces back off like a little Italian weevil. Just like she wears a hearing aid because she grew up in the depression, and she finds stuff in the garbage and it whistles all the time. So you take her for a walk, like within 10 minutes, you have a pack of dogs following around the neighborhood. Just like dogs are ready. So I'm ready for the elderly.
You're ready for
coming out
anything.
of Florida.
Yes,
I'm ready for anything. I mean, anybody come out. And it's if you want to just watch the show, you watch the show. You can be part of the show. But the idea of the show, it's directed by Frank Oz, by the way, who created The Muppets with Jim Henson, directed Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Little Shop of Horrors. He's the original Yoda. He's the try being directed by Yoda, okay? The guy's never friggin' wrong, okay? And the backwards talking thing, it never stops. You go out to dinner with Frank, it's like, steak I will have. I get it, Frank, you're Yoda. I get it. Oh, please. So, and we're doing a really cool set. We got rear projection. We're doing really cool animation. So it's a really cool, different show, but it's also a show you'll be used to because there's stand-up in it and everything else. So I hope everybody can come.
We'll
The
have
17th
to come
to
check
Broward
it out when you're down here. Well, I guess you're going around city to city, so you don't have time to stick around and eat. I could show you some good New Haven pizza down
man,
here.
I would love
similar
to
actually.
But, I'll come back down, though.
Next time you're down, we'll have to hang out with you. You have to do a show. You'll have to sit with us at the Lunchbox.
Yeah, it's been a real pleasure,
great.
Paul.
Thank you for having me, man.
stopping in. Give my regards to the whole crew. It's Colbert, even though nobody knows me, but I do watch every night. All right, Paul Mecurio, everybody. Go see him at the Broward Center on January 17th. Lubie, that's going to do it for today. And thanks to everybody at Casa Calabria, as usual, Frank Talrico, Chef Salvatore, and we'll see everybody next time on the Lunchbox. Enjoy every bowl of cereal and enjoy every sandwich. Looking for great seafood that's a little further inland? Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C, 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom-and-pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward, some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sautéed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. Serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out The House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the new river. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations and information, go to